Mm. Okay, it is. I have two. Well, 1 minute. I'll give it 1 more minute. So, there it is. Okay, gonna give you guys a minute, then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, it is 2 p.m. I want to go ahead and get started. This is Capri Smith. This is the Uncuffed Living Expert, and I am so excited to be here for the what is this? Sin number 2? We're conquering a few things: stagnation and procrastination. So they kind of got married, and we're going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about what they look like for your business and how you could be giving away money as a result of what you're not doing. Okay. As always, this recording is going to be placed in the back office so you can access it at your time and your leisure. It's always best to be available for the live training because you get to ask questions and have me talk about anything in particular. So let's look at our first point. Our first question I have for you guys is, what do you consider, what are some benefits in procrastinating? What things has come up for you that's been good? Like maybe you took your time acting and it led to some breakthroughs, or maybe you rethought about some things and didn't do them as a result of procrastination, or maybe you realized that something was not a good fit for you as a result of procrastination. I want to hear from you if you should join in a minute, and if not, I want you guys to reflect on what procrastination, like what are the benefits of procrastination? What are some things that comes out that's good because of procrastination? For me, I've never been a big procrastinator because I'd rather get paid than put off being paid. I don't like chronic lateness. I don't like chronic people who avoid things. I don't like to run from difficult tasks. I jump in. Um, there are times when I do procrastinate, when I don't want to deal with something, but it's not procrastination in a traditional sense. It's more of a me intentionally putting things off. So when I take a breather and stop and think about things, those times I realize in the procrastination sense that I need to get more in tune to why I'm saying yes when I probably should be saying no. And I need to think a little bit more about what it is I am doing and why I'm not doing something. Procrastination, as you guys know, people will say, I perform better under pressure. I can't plan things out. I can't do it step by step and chunk it. And I actually do better when I have pressure. When the reality is, it's not that you're doing better, you're shocking yourself into realizing that, oh, I was able to perform at all. You're shocking yourself into realizing that you have this amazing product and you procrastinated, meaning you did not do your best. You did not show up early. You did not go above and beyond. You did that which was required, and you may have gotten a pass for it. In your business, it looks like a broke bank account. When you procrastinate, when you are slow showing up, when you don't do what you don't want, what's supposed to do because you don't feel like it, when you don't take your business and those actions into great consideration, and you do procrastinate and you fail to open your mouth and be your own marketing piece, you are literally taking money out of your pocket. Every time you don't feel like it, just think you don't feel like getting paid. Just think you don't feel like up leveling. Just think you don't feel like setting precedences and you're over your goals. You don't feel like getting things done. And eventually that not feeling like it and that downward spiral, it eventually becomes a part of who you are. Is if you could think about a toddler becoming a child, becoming a teenager or a preteen, then a teenager, a young adult, then a mid-age adult, then an older adult, and then there's death. If you could think about it in those stages, when you are tasked with something in front of you, and you may even be shown that this tactic or technique works, but you fail to implement it, you fail to show up, you are taking money out of your pocket. You are operating in the toddler phase, in the child's phase, in the baby phase, the preteen, the teen. And that's in the I. Like if I was in my psychology mode, I would say the it, the selfishness, it's all about me. The world centers on me. I'll get there when I get there. I'll get it done when I get there. That impression that I need to leave is going to be there when I'm ready. When you're operating in that mode, in that selfish, low level way of thinking and not in a grown-up way of thinking in your business is very harmful. People remember how you make them feel, but they also remember how you showed up. They remember how much effort you put into things. They remember how much prep you put into things. And they also remember how you carried it. So if you serve women in business, and if you have a product or something that you like other women to buy from you, I want you to think with your feminine hat. When was the last time you were made to wait, or you got all dolled up and pretty, put your face on, and you waiting for someone else, the makeup melted off, you felt less than, you felt like, man, I'm the star of the show, but here I am waiting. That it wasn't a good feeling. You don't want your customers to feel like that. So how do we get past the procrastination? Because you've heard 1,000 times that it's not a good thing. This is the first thing you have to do. You have to prepare to procrastinate. That is like an opposite, that's like an opposing dichotomy. What do I mean by prepare to procrastinate? I mean, if you know that you're a procrastinator, then you have to prepare some things in advance so the procrastination will not hurt you. Prepare to procrastinate. If you know you have to write a blog or an article or a newsletter, I want you to dictate it into your phone and prepare. It could be about a random topic. It could be about nothing at all, but you're going to then use that later. So when you find yourself procrastinating, at least you have some things you can work with. The second thing is I want you to think about your getting paid. Many times I hear women say, I can't afford, I don't have. And they look at money as this humongous energy, this uncontrollable being that is bigger than God. And I'm telling you that it's not as important as they're making it sound. We put so much value on dollar bills. When we begin to invest in ourselves, when we begin to invest in our families and our quality of life, training and mentorship, we are then up leveling because we are saying to the world, to the universe, to ourselves that we believe enough in ourselves to put our money on the table to support ourselves. Shoes are cute, hairs are cute. I've heard of women paying $300 for wigs. I've heard them paying $400 for braids, and it's not forever. It's not permanent. Weaves are not cheap, but they're not permanent. So we'll put all this money into our physical appearance, and we won't pour money into who we are. Like internally, do the self-work. That's one of the 5 pillars of living uncuffed. You have to do the self-work. The last P when it comes to procrastination, before we can move into our limiting mindset, is a sin. It is an absolute sin to live in poverty. And what do I mean by that? Let me break it down, because biblically, we think sin is related to biblical terminology. And we think that the Bible tells us we should be humble and meek and we should not be lavish in our living. But to live in poverty, it is a sin because it's saying you do not believe that God's word is for you. You do not believe that his riches and his favors, his abundance is not for you, and that you are supposed to be at ground zero. But God wants his people to excel, to grow, to expand, so that we can be bigger blessings to other people, and so that he can show off. God likes to show off and show his power, his omnipotence, his omnipresence, his omni everything. And he can't do that if you guys are broken and you are procrastinating, because it's saying you're not trusting the process. It's a process in procrastination. If you know that it's something you're plagued with and you now realize that you have to prepare to procrastinate, I want you to refuse to procrastinate. I want you to refuse it, resist it. Again, another Bible ideology. Resist the devil and it shall flee. If you resist procrastination, it's going to flee. You know how we say, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym. I promise you I'm going to the gym. And we never make it to the gym. That is a form of procrastination. When it comes to your business, if you say, I'm going to mail that product, I'm going to mail that product. If you say, I'm going to create that product, I'm going to create that product, and it never happens, something will always come in place of it, because you are prepping yourself for failure. You are intentionally putting something in that space so that you can't do what you need to do in your business and in your life, so that you can procrastinate with permission and stay right where you are. Not where you want to be, but where you are. The problem with that is usually where you are isn't where you want to be. They don't always match. I love this life of peace and abundance, and I get to do whatever I want to do, and I make my own schedule, and I can decide at the last minute to do things, and I can decide at the last minute not to do things, because I'm in control of my schedule. I'm in control of my actions. I'm in control of everything. I control the level of success that I experience. And one of the things that I had to learn is that I literally do that. I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have to rely on people to pour into me. I have enough tangibles. I've invested in myself on so many levels that I have enough in that closet, that mental closet, to pull it out and refer to it. And I bring it to my tribe, my clients, and make them better. So when you're thinking about procrastination, just know that it isn't a good thing. It isn't flattering, and it's not meant to be here forever. Okay, so let's move into that stagnation piece, because I don't know if we really honed in on the stagnation piece. Procrastination and stagnation, that Asian is not a good thing. It's a nation of just ill will. It's a nation of you merely existing. You don't want to merely exist ever. You always want to be in a position where you are doing things better. An object in motion stays in motion. And guess what? We're not basketballs. You don't go around and around and around. We go up, we go up, we go up. You want to always go up. You don't want to stay stagnant. Stagnation is thinking. There was a time in my life where I really felt like, man, I have reached it. I'm the all-time high. I'm here. There's no place further to go. And now I'm going to chill. Enjoy your moments as they are unfolding, but you don't want to grow stagnant, bored, lazy. You don't want to get in a position where you're satisfied. You always want to push yourself to that next level. When you're thinking about stagnation, I want you guys to think about what in your daily routine, in your daily habits, can you change right now that's going to make you realize that you don't have to be stagnant. What is it? What is this stagnation? What are you fixated on that you can do? What's going to make you grow? How can you measure what's being stagnant in your life? Being stagnant means non-movement. What has not moved? Has your dating relationship stayed still? Has your marriage stayed still? Has your relationships with your girlfriends and your sisterhood, has that stayed still with non-movement? What's stagnant in your life? And when you're dealing with stagnation in your business, you want to think about, how can you change it? How can you pour from this one area of your life that's thriving and push it into another area so that area is not stagnant? How can you? You can make daily deposits of diligence that's going to get you to where you want to be. And what I mean is, instead of, if you know your routine is to take my 2 naps a day, that's biblical to me. I'm not sacrificing them, but I am saying that doesn't mean I'm stagnant. After my 2 naps, I get up and I'm working and I'm grinding, I'm working because it's fun to me. I just told you my needs are met, more than most people. I feel very, very blessed in my life now. I'm not fighting for time with my family, fighting for time with my kids. I'm not fighting to find time with my husband, fighting to find time with my businesses. Things are looking pretty good because I'm putting the work in daily. There's no such thing as stagnation in this house. I'm a highly motivated person, and I wake up that way. I stay highly motivated because I have a point of reference. I was very poor, very, very humble beginnings. So for you, I want you to think about what's stagnant in your life. And for you, it might even be a chore to even think about it. And it's because you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about, what are you neglecting in your life? Because the thing you're neglecting in your life is the thing you should focus on, because that is where the glory is. That's where your gifts are. That's where the story is. That's where everything is. And the thing that you are neglecting. If you're in this constant state of movement, which is the opposite of stagnation, that isn't cool either. You should find a happy medium. Hello and welcome. We are moving right along. We're almost halfway through. Hello and welcome. How was your day?
Oh, it's getting.
It's getting. Let's get it going. We are talking about, at this point, we are talking about stagnation. I've talked about procrastination, and I'll go back and touch them briefly. But we're talking about stagnation and really what that means in your business. And I was talking about how the opposite of stagnation is constant movement. That's not a healthy thing either. You want to find that middle ground where you're not just staying in one place and you're not just constantly going someplace. Your middle ground looks like this. Your middle ground. Where's your money? A lot of us, let's take something that we all struggle with, money, right? Let me tell you why we have money struggles. Because we give it, again, too much power. So where is your money? A lot of times we look at money as this thing that we don't have. And I'm going to tell you, if you've ever said, I don't have any money, guess what? You are not going to have any money. If you say, I don't have any friends, guess what? You're not going to have any friends. If you say, I don't have any clients, you're not going to have it. So right in the middle of stagnation and constant movement is your mindset. You are what you eat. You are also what you think. You are probably more what you think. So to get over this stagnation and to avoid burnout by doing too much, I need you to itemize your day. How many hours do you have in a day? 24, right? We all have 24. How many of you guys are sleeping 8 hours a day? Nobody. I don't even sleep 8 hours a day, and I can. But if you count my 2 naps, I'm probably sleeping a little bit longer than that. But I meant at one span at a time. So if you think about the deposits you're making with your sleep, if you can't even pay yourself in sleep, I know you're not paying yourself in money. And that's going to lead to stagnation. When was the last time you showed up for work and did all this work and didn't get paid for it? Did you want to go back? When was the last time you volunteered? You left that volunteering position, did not feel like you had gained anything, that you had helped anybody, and then you went back to volunteer. There has to be a deposit. There has to be a return on your investment. There has to be something that motivates you. So if you are stagnant, you are lacking motivation. When you lack motivation, you then have to come here. What are you grinding so hard for? What are you doing? Is it to build your legacy? Is it to get the word out about your business? Is it to avoid something that you don't want to deal with? And if you're live, you surely can ask questions. So jump in whenever you want. And I'm just going to keep going if that doesn't happen. One thing I had to do is I tell the story about how I had reached these points in my life. There was successes on every level, but as an individual, there were some holes. There was some lacking. There was a mindset thing where I had to keep working because I was never going to be poor, broke, and hungry again. And I realized that money that's in the bank is there or it's not. I can't control it. When I realized that no matter how much I tried to demonstrate to the world that I could help them on some level, they were going to accept it or not. When I realized that I was more important than my next level, then I realized that I'm not stagnant and I'm not in a constant state of movement. I'm uncuffed. I'm right here in the middle, meaning I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting rewards. I'm getting rewards. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting the rewards more than I can contain. I'm continuing to do what I'm supposed to do. So stagnation really is a matter of perspective. The limiting mindset, it tells us, it trains us that if we're not working hard, if our knuckles aren't bleeding, if we're not tired by the end of the day, if we're not drained by the end of the day, that we haven't done enough. And that's a lie. That is a lie. Many of me women that stay at home, I meet women that have 15 jobs, I meet women that are just entrepreneurs, women that are both business women and entrepreneurs, corporate workers and entrepreneurs, blue collar and entrepreneurs. The commonality is they forget to honor who they are and what they do. They forget to give themselves credit for the little things. They forget to reward themselves. Because if I say, how do you give yourself credit? Some people would say, well, I'll get my hair done. And, it could be $1 million right there. You can say, I get my nails done. That's about $100. Oh, I get massages. Okay, you're not doing that every day. But every single day you're working hard and you're doing something. So how are you rewarding yourself? So the first thing I need you to do is to reshape your mind about how you are to be rewarded. You need a reward system in place. We have to turn that system in our mind that's punitive, that's punishing, and we have to flip it to be more rewarding. We are so damn hard on ourselves. We say we didn't do enough. I have to get to this thing because if I don't get to it, it's going to die and go away. No. You put your work in, it's going to be there. You're going to get to it when you can. I have to remind my husband, he owns a cigar lounge. When he gets in from the police job, he's usually running in, barely has time to go to the potty. Slow down. It's your shop. It opens when you get there. But I told everybody I was there from 5 to 9. Guess what? They're going to be there or they're not. This is the difference between a winning mindset and a lack mindset. The lack mindset means that if you're not at the scene when you're supposed to be at that scene, then guess what? That opportunity is gone. I had to realize that when I'm at the scene, it's a scene. When I'm not there, it's not. When you're on the scene, now it's a scene. When you're not, you didn't miss it anyway. You probably already had it. So this is how I want you guys to think about yourselves. It's not more about the ID, the ego, the selfishness that we talked about earlier with procrastination. You're really moving into The self-preservation. You can't build a legacy on a lack mindset. No one's going to want to keep that going. No one's going to want to keep repeating those patterns. So in order to start that legacy building and that branding and that going to your next level and attracting your right tribe and your right client, is you have to meet them where they are, but you have to show them that you are 100 times where they need to be. Prime example, I met a young lady at the conference I went to last week. And at the conference, she and her husband did a business. When I talked to her, it took her 45 minutes to tell me that she does, I can't think of the name of her MLM business, but she sold some household product. She built and rehabbed houses with her husband. They cleaned and gutted them out, and then they resold them. Her daughter's a ballet, but her daughter can also rehab the houses. And then she went all into how she's a Boy Scout mom, she's a PTA mom, and she does all these things. She's so proud feeling that because a lot of people forget to take time off for their family. Long story short, is I let her talk and get it all off her chest, and I explained to her how I did everything she did without the rehabbing of the houses, but times 25 things more, and that it took me 3 minutes to explain to her what it is I did. And at the end of the conversation, she was converted to a client and not me. The thing that was missing is the value that we had in our stories. Her value and her assumption is that there's a reward in being a mom and being present for PTA and being a Boy Scout leader. My thinking is that isn't a reward. That's the beautifulness. That's a blessing. That's something that's the air that I breathe. I no longer celebrate that first because for me it's an expectation now. That's what happens when you start to move into the life that you want. Your expectations are celebrated less, and they're not the first thing you speak about because you're expecting it. When I say this is the cost of the programs, the expectation is you're going to pay more than that. When I say this is what I do, the expectation is you're going to see value and invest, or you're not. So when I get you guys to think about you as a commodity, Black female, that in itself tells a story before you get there. It tells the world that you were able to overcome the stigmas attached to being angry, to being lazy, to being hypersexual. And for the fact that you have a business and a job, okay, so now you're going one step further and saying, I know how to change into this corporate position and switch it and turn it back on and off when I need to. It tells the world that, you know what, yes, I was born this being that you kind of wanted to count out and disregard, but I'm still here, but I'm not just here. I'm curvy, I'm beautiful, I'm bold, I'm still striving, I'm up leveling. Every day I'm doing better. And guess what? I can do the same things that other people are doing that we never get the credit for. And on top of that, we are still handling our broken men, because as a whole, men of color are still very broken, that we can handle our broken men, their mindsets, and shift that into something where they think that they can fly. So because of who you guys are, my ideal clients, I'm not going to give you can win, Jesse, win speech, because you know that. What I'm going to tell you is that you've already won. I need you to itemize that win, and I need you to go out and boldly demand it. Don't prepare a big old PowerPoint presentation, and don't send your Facebook post to copyright people and editors. Put it out there, authentic and raw, and see won't they love it, and see won't they come back for more, and see won't they invest. Stop asking for $15 when you know you need 50. Stop asking for $300 when you paid $500 to get something. So what I'm saying to you guys is you've got to respect your authority. The limiting mindset comes in when other people places judgment, because you'll have your friends, you'll have your family, you'll have your clients, you'll have people come to you and say, well, you know, this is less than perfect. I expected this and I got that. People are quick to criticize. It makes them feel better. But what I want you guys to know, and what I want you guys to do, is I want you to realize that even outside of your perfection, that 100% perfection that you'll never achieve, that we all try to be, even outside of that, you are 100% deserving of every kudo, every dollar, every opportunity, everything that's for you. And until you stop giving it away, you're never going to get it. Aren't you tired of seeing everyone else on the stage? Aren't you tired of seeing everyone else get the reward? Everyone else gets celebrated. Aren't you tired of stopping and going and stopping and going? We shut down, we retreat in little corners, and we grow stagnant because say, well, the timing isn't right, or, you know, this person didn't really support it. Well, I put it out there. No one hit the like button. Nobody came. I did everything you said, Caprice, and nobody came. Guess what? Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep going. Because maybe you haven't been introduced to your next best client yet. Maybe you haven't been introduced to your next best opportunity yet. Maybe you have to go out and create it. One of the reasons why I have the Uncuffed Women's Colloquium is because I love being on the stage speaking and pouring to women just like me. If I can't meet women just like me mainly, then I made a conference where I'm drawing out women just like me. I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. The only thing I offer to you is, before we close out for this last 5 minutes of open questions and answers, the last thing that I offer to you is, until you begin to itemize your strengths, your gifts, and the ways that you can make money, you're not ever going to make it until it becomes important for you. And don't let someone trick you into believing that you're costing them something. You doing you or being you or striving to be better is causing them some level of heartache or pain, because it's not fair to you. The problem is we were thinking of ourselves as low level people, and then we realized that we weren't there, but we forgot our mind didn't need to shift right along with our hopes and dreams and our actions. We had to realize that our $1 million babies that we continue to birth every day, they're not to be given away for $5, $10, or $25. And until you start demanding that, you're never going to get rid of the people that are hanging off you for free. You're never going to get rid of the people that are copying everything you do. You're never going to get rid of the people just peeking to see where you're going with this. You're never going to get rid of your critics. My area, my path it's clear. I go the path of least resistance. I'm not going to convince you of anything. If I have to, you are not for me. So you have to start clearing out that space. And one way to do that is to show people that I don't operate in a limited mindset anymore, and I can't tolerate those who do. And that means clean it out. Clean out every area of your life. Get rid of people. Put down the phone. Put people on the block list. Block the calls. Don't take the calls. Don't respond to the text messages. When you start throwing those Wonder Woman signs up, nope, not today. Nope, put positivity instead of negativity. I don't live for your judgment. I don't live for your praises. I don't live for your criticism. When they start to invest in you, then they get your time. Then you realize that, damn, I could have been doing this all along. And guess what? You've been eons ahead of people all along. So go back and listen to the first part for procrastination. We talked a little bit about stagnation and limiting mindset. The last piece is, until you realize that your brain is your strongest muscle. Brain is the most beautiful thing you'll have. And if you think about it, it's the least protected. All you have up there is a skull, and you fall hard enough, you can crack that thing. That's why they have CTEs and concussions now so much of athletes. It's not as protected as we think. So knowing that muscle in the brain, like when I go to the morgue and I see them sitting on the table, as gory as that sounds, I see, man, it's just a gray matter, literally gray matter. But it's gray matter of endless possibilities. So for me, I'm trying to stretch every last little line, every last little crevice in that thing. So by the time I leave here, they'll be like, wow, her brain is damn near pink, because there's so much electric activity in it. And I want you guys to do the same thing, because for me, the electric activity, that's my legacy. That's what I'm going to leave behind. That's my Lockhart principle. That's my Henrietta Lacks. That's my story to have yet been told. That's the piece of me that I don't even realize I'm leaving behind. People are continue to be drawn to and invest in. So stop being scared, guys. Get off the sideline and just go make it happen. So 2 minutes. Any questions or anything you guys want me to talk about in particular? I think, Arlene, you might be the only live. I think we have a couple of audio listeners. So if you guys can unmute yourselves and ask any questions that you want or jump in, that's fine. And if not, all right, if not, I'm going to close it down by saying that next week this is a shorter one. This is like only 4. So the last piece of Surge, we're talking about jump starting this is like mid-level. This is in your business. You are halfway through your business. It should be. For me, my business kind of shuts down in the summer, and I'm operating on residual things I've already done. So I'm not killing myself in the summer. I can actually have a vacation and a break and some family time, check on my garden. So if you are getting to a point where it's kind of dwindling down, that motivation you had in January is not there anymore, and you need a push, I'm encouraging you to really go back and listen to the recordings on that page, because it's going to give you what you need. You just remember me saying that 5 years ago, I was sitting at a desk and I was hating life. I had senioritis sitting at my desk and I could not wait to retire. And I wondered why I had taken this career choice. I'd forgotten about it, paying for my degrees. I realized that I had made a mistake. And here I am 5 years later, I'm thinking, no, there wasn't a mistake. It was a part of my plan. It was a part of God's plan for my life. And it really gave me a basis to say, I've been there, done that. So if you are at a job, a cubicle, wherever, you've been there, you've done that. You could go to work, close your eyes, and still complete your task. So challenge yourself to your next. All right, guys. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I shall see you guys next week, same time. I'm Vegas bound, baby. Vegas bound. See y'all.